Okay, to pop into Peterborough. Not a place I've been to for many years, only driving past it on the A1, and even then not very often. So anyway, nice to talk to you. I'll put it over to Ernie again. Is it BLW or LBW? I've forgotten now. Back to you, Ernie, G3FCD.
Yeah, Dave's put it back to you, Ernie, go ahead.
David, I just couldn't hear you. It dropped down a bit for me as well, David. So it comes in and out now for me, my part. So we are too funny off. So there we are. Yes, okay, yeah, I don't know. Again, I put it wrong. It's just coming on a little bit. So it's coming in quite nice. I could just hear most, but I couldn't tell you what he's really saying. But amazing. When he is part-time, support back here. Ron, was in Ron, somebody on there that's calling on there, but told me it's somebody else there, so the correct day, M1BLW.
Yeah, M1BLW in the group, G6JVS, okay, I'm not Ernie. Yeah, Ron's call sign is Mike Zero, Romeo Hotel Bravo. Mike Zero, Romeo Hotel Bravo. So if you haven't got that, you'll give me a tinkle and I'll give you the information there, Ernie. I would imagine, Ron, there must be some controls on the radio to control your compression, because I've got a little knob on the bottom of mine, and I've got mine set roughly. It's around about 10 o'clock. No, it isn't. Yeah, about 10 o'clock mine is, and that gives me 5 to 10 dB of compression. So you must have a control there somewhere, Ron, to control the compression. So they get the manual out and just go through all the settings, the bits and pieces, and no doubt you'll get it. But it certainly improved your audio since you switched that switch over on your microphone. Because I'm using the SM30 mics, because I've got the ICOM 756 Pro 2. And I've had it quite some time now. I've never had the top off of this either. Well, I don't particularly want to, but there we are. Anyway, chaps, that's gone 9 o'clock. That's 11 after 9. I can hear the boys on 2 meters. So I'll have another over with you, and I'm going to slide off and have a chat with the boys. What's the day? Wednesday, the 1st of November. Oh, blimey. It'll soon be Christmas, David. G3SCD in the group, G6JVX.
Oh, somebody just told me this morning, but it's 53 days to Christmas. There's some useless information for you. Your signal faded away altogether almost earlier that time. Nearly lost you altogether. Just tell you there, but okay. Yes, I've a sneaking feeling, Rod, that the compression switch on that particular radio of yours is somewhere down the left-hand back side. I'm not too sure. I might be wrong. Funny enough, it might be in the menu, of course, but you can adjust it, and if you've got too much, then it can be very, very peculiar effect. A little bit of it is a very, very good thing. Too much is a terrible thing. But anyway, you'll just have to have a read through it, and back to basics. Start off with the basic settings, and then change it very slightly when you can talk to someone on the air who knows what they're doing. It's not always easy to get it right, and of course it's not always easy if you get people that are not quite sure what they're listening to, or people that have not got a good signal from you, because the interference can upset the system, as you know. You can just do another test if you want with different predictions, Rod, if you wish. I'll just take a listen. M0RHP, G3SCD in the group.
Yeah, M0RHP. I've changed microphones, David. I took the one off the 813 which is the same mic, and I'm actually preparing the menu for the processor level, and I'll switch it back to 0, Roger.
Yeah, well, I don't think it sounds a lot different. A little bit weaker this time round, but there's still something just slightly odd, as if there's a little bit of an echo to it. The noise is coming up now as well, and it doesn't help. You know, we really need a really thumping S9 signal between us to get the best out of it, but it does give me the impression, change the microphone, it's nothing to do with the microphone. I think it's something to do with the setting within the radio. That's just my opinion, for what it's worth. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, Roger, David, yeah. Well, without the processor on 0, I can increase it while I'm talking. That's on number 10 now, Roger.
Yeah, on number 10 what, though? What is that you're just in?
That's the speech processor, what's built in the radio, David.
Yeah, I think you said it's the compression or the processor or whatever. Yeah, I would turn well, I can't really comment now, Rod, because your signal's going down a bit in strength and the noise is coming up, which is much the same thing. So, you know, don't mess about with things unless you are really sure of what you're doing. They may call it a processor or compression, or there's different names for the same thing, but that's nothing to do with the normal microphone game. The normal microphone game usually wants to be somewhere between a third and a halfway up, in my experience. But I'm sort of guessing a bit because I'm not familiar with that particular radio. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, Roger, David, yeah. I understand what you mean, mate. But there you go. The microphone game is everything addictive on this radio. You haven't got many knobs on it at all. So I have to... there's a menu on it. The microphone gain at the minute is on 75. If I reduce it, as I'm doing here now, that's halfway, that's on 50, bearing in mind the maximum is 100. So that's halfway now, David, Roger.
Yes, I've got some QRM now, which is making it very, very difficult to sort out. I'm getting every word you're saying, but it just sounds a little bit odd, and I can't really tell you any more than that right at this moment because of the nature of it. You know, back to the book, but if you know anybody around, there's lots of people got that particular radio. There are ever so many of them about. I'm sure you'll find someone on the air who can give you some help with that. You find someone that's got the same radio, and you can compare notes, and that's really the best way to sort it out. Preferably somebody else around your area, and I bet there's a dozen of those in Peterborough without any doubt whatsoever. So I was at the QRT now anyway, but nice to talk to you all this morning. So catch you another day, and I'll put it over to Bert for any comments, and I'm going to QRT. G6JVX, G3SCD, saying 73, just listening.
Yeah, G3SCD in the group, G6JVX, okay, David. Yeah, I just wondered whether you got a monitor on that radio, Ron, so you can monitor your own signal. I don't know what. I'll try and look it up on the computer sometime today, the 897, and see if I can see the controls on it. I don't know where it's got a monitor on it, so you can monitor your own audio, which will be a great help. You can use a pair of headphones and monitor it while you're adjusting bits and pieces on the radio. But I'm not familiar with the 897. I think a lot of people got the 897s. But I'll certainly look it up anyway, Ron. Yeah, I'm going to pull out, Ron, if you don't mind, and you there, David. And I'll put it across to Ernie to say his farewells. I'm going to slide over on 2 meters. So, God willing, we'll catch you all in the morning, Ron. And you there, David, if you're about. And you as well, Ernie. They're on you, Ernie. M1BLW in the group, G6JVX. Yeah, bye-bye, Ernie. 7-3, mate. You've gone down a bit now, Ernie, but you're still coppable. So 7-3, Ernie, have a nice day. Don't work too hard. Hand you there, Ron. And I'll try and look that up on the computer, Ron, see if I can throw some light on it. But it's not right anyway. It's something in the audio section. Let's of course it's a fault on the radio, which it probably still is. I don't know. But I'll certainly put it up on the screen, have a look at it. Anyway, 7-3 Ron, 7-3 David, all the best, and 7-3 to any listeners. G6JVS near clear, just briefly listen, then course by 2 meters. Cheers all.
And beyond that, you have to take your chances walking in the main road, basically. Expects to press 30 million this year for everyone, from the Rolling Stones and U2 to Lady Gaga and Madonna. So they're producing a lot of vinyl all of a sudden.
Well, like I've said before, I've still got my, in fact we've got 2, 3, we've got 4 record players here. 2 are up in the attic, suitcase 1, my son's portable system, a USB, turntable, that's what I don't think of, and a stack system here, Shepstow, 8x10 with that.
Yeah, roger that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how many albums I've got. Quite a lot. I used to buy a lot of albums in its heyday, but I haven't bought music for years now. I suppose realistically I'm not interested in it. Some of the stuff that comes out these days. Did you see Jules Holland last night on the Beeb?
No, I tried to keep away from that classic person.
What, Jules Holland?
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of the other one, the Clary. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh no, he's a Nancy Puff, isn't he?
Not my words, but I agree with you.
Oh, alright, put it on. He's a limp-wristed tosser then.
Yes, and so's that fella on the press review from the Daily Mail.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, it was quite interesting. I mean, I like to sort of keep abreast of, what should we call it, today's music and the trend, what's going on. And I sort of watched it, and Liam Gallagher was there with his new band, which was different. That's the rest of it. I was sitting there with Sue saying, what the hell are they saying? Couldn't understand a word what they were screeching about, over.
Yes, we told you yesterday you're going deaf. Even Paul mentioned it over.
No, that's not the problem. It's just the content of the music they were stamping out.
Morning, John. Morning, Keith.
Morning, George.
I agree with you. There's a new language coming out, John, and I have no idea what it is.
Well, it's obviously the thing, isn't it? I mean, I got the TV on and got the surround sound system on, and I was saying, I can't make out what the hell they're bloody shouting about. You know, there were several songs that were performed, and I couldn't really hardly grasp a word of what was being said. It just lost it completely. Bring back the Beatles, I think. Over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, a lot of it is what people are talking about now is based on texting information, isn't it, John? It's all abbreviated.
Well, yeah, it could be that. I was just totally confounded by it all, but there we are. That's the way it goes. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, but I take Keith's point. You know, yeah, I'm going a bit deaf. I've got tinnitus, which doesn't help matters, but I can turn the volume up. I'm not deaf, I'm being deafened, and I can turn the volume up and I can hear it. I still couldn't make out what the hell they were shouting about. Keith?
I was thinking I've cured your problem for your sound on your TV, over.
Go on then.
Get rid of the surround sound.
Nothing wrong with my surround sound. I'll have you know it's one of the best that Sony make.
I don't give it. Well, we've had them. We never use them. We've had two systems. One was a Yamaha, and another one was a Goodman's. That's what it was. And the Yamaha was something like 300 watts. And a big
What's that, Len Goodman's? I think they changed the name from Murphy to Goodman's, didn't they?
I don't know.
Well, I think it should have Murphy stamped on it if it had Goodman's. And, Yamaha. Good make, isn't it? Should be good. I don't know what your problem is. You've probably got low definition TV, I would imagine.
No. That's your problem. You've got too much sound coming out of different speakers, and your head's going, and your ears are going, oh, where's that coming from? And it sounds muffled.
No. Oh, you are so wrong, aren't you, eh? Dear, oh dear.
Tell you what, John, if you get into 400 watts of true audio power, it'll blow your brains out.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, George. My hi-fi system, that runs 100 watts RMS of pure hi-fi, but that's not connected to the TV. I don't know what our Sony surround sound runs at. 400 or 500 watts, I think. A couple of big tower speakers by the TV and stuff everywhere, other speakers. But anyway, it works fine. Even if I put a CD in it from my other collection into the surround sound, it plays them fine, and it's good music. However, what I saw on Jules Holland, well, let's be fair. I've got to be honest here. Somebody else might have seen this. He introduced an Albanian music something or other, and there were two people at the front singing in Albanian, whatever that is, and these people in the back playing, I don't know what they were, interesting stringed instruments and whatever, and, well, I couldn't understand a word they were saying, because it was Albanian.
Where was your TV made?
Say again?
Where was your television and the hi-fi made?
Albania.
I think the TV was made in... Where's Samsung made, the big one? Is that China, Samsung, or somewhere else? Morning, Paul.
Yeah, morning all. You sure it wasn't Albania?
What, my Samsung TV?
Might have been Blackpool.
No, your ears, John.
Quite possibly. There's an awful lot made in Turkey. Turkey is a massive producer of middle-of-the-road badged engineering electronics for most of the mainstream manufacturers, yeah?
Yep, I think it is, John. But anyway, morning, everyone. Yes, about 11 degrees, 120 pressure. That's all I can tell you. Cloudy.
Yeah, pretty much the same here.
Morning, Paul. 5-9 inches England.
Morning, Chief. QSB. But yeah, 5-9. I haven't heard. I heard George here. George was about an S8, so not too bad this morning. Got George's pictures this morning. Was quite good. Some weird sounds going on 781. I don't know what that was all about before George signed his pictures. I don't know if anybody else heard it.
Who?
I swear there was an Echo Alpha calling CQ or something. I don't know if you can hear me, George.
Yeah, I think there were some foreigners on there.
Oh, how that's terrible, George. What the hell are foreigners doing on amateur radio?
Could have been from across the border.
Oh, do you mean the Brexit border?
Yeah, I'm pulling your leg here. I might get somebody coming round and popping me on the head.
Yep. I think you'll be alright, George. But yeah, that was very strange this morning, and there was some kind of, I don't know, something, it was weird. I've never usually heard QRM like that on 781, George. I swear there was like a tone going off. It almost sounded like a recording, George.
Well, there is somebody who comes up most mornings and causes havoc at about 8 o'clock and then seems to disappear.
It takes, yeah, I don't know. I usually get a little bit of grief for those guys on the net, about 3K away, George, but this morning they weren't too bad, over.
I just ignore them.
We're that side of the world. So there you go. And
idiots across the road who saw Halloween as yet another. Mind you, they don't need an excuse. They're idiots. They bet fireworks.
Didn't realise they had to empty the dirt away. Some people, and I've heard the same said with some people with electric shavers. They didn't realise they had to empty them. So I don't know whether they thought the debris that you shave off your skin disappears by magic, but they didn't realise that they had to empty them, and they just get clogged up with bits of old hair. And and the fluff in the dryer is exactly that. If you use your tumble dryer without a filter, then all the dirt and the debris just goes straight onto the heating elements. And I think that's common with most tumble dryers, unless they have some sort of inbuilt filtering system. If you don't use the filter, once the filter gets blocked, of course, there could be a temptation. So I can't be bothered to clean the filter out, which is only just a few seconds worth of flicking the stuff, down the toilet or something. We'll just run it this time without the filter in, and of course that's the killer, isn't it? The fluff gets on the heating element, and the job's and the game's afoot, as they would say. So some people are, although we have all these modern gadgets, some people really don't understand. I guess it's a question of understanding how things work, rather than just using these things blindly. Right, so it's round to Peter. G4BIM in the group, M0SPZ.
Yeah, very good from G4BIM, and apologies for getting the sequencing wrong last time. Well, quite a few notes I've written down, so I'll whiz through them as quickly as possible. Yes, this company, beginning with W, I've never been impressed with them. There's an irony to all this, We've, whenever I've been able to afford it, we've always bought Miele products, and we have got some Miele products that I think the condensing dryer is over 20 years old. We've got another Miele product that's nearly 25 years old. Yes, they're double the price, and some of the products are not quite double the price of the competition. But I do know that Miele build in almost a guarantee that their products will give at least 15,000 operations, which when you work it out is not bad at all. Plus the fact that they do still offer spares for this unit that's 25 years old is a rotary ironing machine, and they do offer spares for that machine if they're needed. They're not cheap, but they do offer that. So it swings and roundabouts, I guess. Yes, I do agree there is too much stuff on the screen, on the graphical user interface, and thank you, Wolfie, for reminding me that it was Simon Ham Radio Deluxe. Very good. And I think personally, if I could pick up an UnUn 100 second-hand for a reasonable price, then I might be tempted to buy one, if for no other reason to be able to use it with Simon's software, because it really is quite nice. But it's interesting about 2 meters and stuff. And yeah, for me, there is a magic to radio. Even Radio 4 or normal AM broadcast. There's a magic to radio that you don't get with television or video, isn't there? Because you're trying to imagine the person that you're talking to at the other end and build a picture of them. And also I get quite a kick out of looking people up on Google Earth Street View, wherever they are on the planet, when I speak to them and seeing where they live and what their location is like. With regards to people not emptying the vacuum, so I can imagine that so. But isn't that down to what most of us are? I have to admit I'm guilty of it to a degree. Who reads the handbook? How many people buy a product and actually read the handbook from front to back? Certainly my wife doesn't. Let's see if I can get the sequencing right. I'm number 4, so it must now be you, Frank. G0GSR in the group, G4BIM.
Okay, Peter, G0GSR. Well, I don't read handbooks too. If I get a fancy piece of amateur radio stuff, then yes, I do sit down and read the handbook. For domestic appliances, no, never. We had one yesterday. The wife bought the eldest daughter her Christmas present, which, would you believe, she wants one of these games consoles? You know, she's not a kid, but that's what she wanted. So my wife came back with it, and I had to test it, and she was saying, "Do you want to read the instructions?" No, just plug it in and switch it on and see what it does. And we got it going with no problem at all. But yes, you're right with the appliances, Peter. I'm just appalled by the quality of the white goods. We were discussing this yesterday or the day before. And I've actually got a couple of Miele appliances. And I bought them really because they offered a 10-year guarantee, which is worth quite a bit. And one thing I really found was I took the old washing machine out and then tried to put this brand new Miele machine in, and it was about 3 times as heavy. Washing machines are pretty heavy things, but this thing was absolutely incredible. It was about double the weight of the machine that came out, which was just a normal box standard cheap one. So what was in it? Well, obviously a lot more concrete in it for a start. But there's just no hope for some people if they're not realising where the muck goes in vacuum cleaners and shavers and things. What we got on here? Working DX and things. Yeah, like Dave, I've been there and done that, and not really interested anymore. Very, very disappointed in 6 meters. I had a really good time on the 6 meters when we first got the band. And we used to have proper QSOs in this area, and there was a lovely old guy I used to speak to in Oakhampton. I suspect he's disappeared now, Silent Key, but that was G6XM, and we used to have some really good, long, proper talking RadTube QSOs on 6 meters. And that's all completely gone now. You just cannot have a chat on 6 meters. It's all 5.9 QRZ, goodbye, next please. So I'm really disappointed in that, but I just suppose that's the way of the world as well. I had a listen on 20 meters yesterday for the first time in a long time. I lasted about 5 minutes, and then I had to switch off because it's just too noisy for me. All the aggression and people talking over the top of each other. Just to you, Dave, I did the repair on my ATU yesterday. Went absolutely fine. So that's working nice and reliably now. Put the new roller in the coil. And also did a little modification on the ATU, which took an awful lot longer than the repair. I changed the horrible SO239 input socket for a proper N-type socket. And not only that, I noticed there was a blank hole in the back panel. It was had a plastic blanking plug in it, but it was drilled for a standard coaxial socket. So I put one in there, and I've got a little RF monitor output now. So I've got a low-level RF monitor output on the ATU to feed a scope, or maybe in the future to feed a pure signal receiver as part of my new SDR system, which I don't have. And like you, Peter, I keep looking out for second down, but seem to be a remarkable shortage of them. I think people tend to keep them at the moment, certainly. Whether they'll be tempted with any of the new ones to upgrade, I don't know, but I'd be quite happy with something fairly basic. I don't want the many receivers or slices or whatever they call them. Over to you, Wolfie, the confirmed black box knob operator with the old-fashioned big radio there. G4SSX in the group, G0GSR.
Yeah, G0GSR, G4SSX retailing. Well, you know, I haven't got any ideas, but there is a chap, I think he lives in Kent. I think he's a G3. He builds his own SDR transceivers. I haven't heard him on the radio for a long time, so very interesting to listen to when he and his friend are talking about those homebrew devices. Very interesting indeed. There used to be a German gang on 80 meters. They used to talk about homebrew solid-state linears, and fantastic, very interesting. There was a few chaps on there who knew what they were talking about. You know, it's interesting if you listen to these people. I haven't got a clue, you know, but I listen, and it's interesting anyway. Gentlemen, I have to love you and leave you. I have to take the monster out. He wants to go for a walk. And I have to do my favourite job as well, shopping. Food shopping, goodness sake. And I need diesel for the car as well. With that, I wish you all a very good morning, 7-3. Have a nice, enjoy the day, and I'll catch you all, God willing, tomorrow. M0SPZ, G4SSX signing, wishing your station a very good morning, and may your gold go with you. 7-3 all.
Yeah, Roger Wolfie, G4SSX in the group, M0SPZ returning. Have yourself a great day, Wolfie, and don't forget, we're always here from 9 till about 10 o'clock, so give us a shout anytime and just join in. But just before you go, you can get, you still get Simon's original ham radio deluxe free, but you've got to search for it on the internet. I forget what version it is, but 5 point something I think is the last free one. So you can still get a copy of that, but it doesn't work on Windows 10 as I've discovered, which is why I'm running my new logbook system, which is not nowhere near as good, but any port in a storm. Right, okay, so cheerio to Wolfie, and expensive white goods, yes, I agree entirely that, well, is it worth it or not? I mean, we were talking about it yesterday, you know, it's almost got to the stage now where if the brushes in your washing machine go, you chuck the washing machine away and get a new one, rather than get the brushes changed. And of course most people have washing machines built in or put into inaccessible places, so to service a washing machine in most people's houses is very, very difficult, because you've got to take it out and get at it in order to just do a simple change like changing the brushes on the motor. But yes, it's nice to have nice stuff, isn't it? I must admit, Peter, it is nice to buy the best. I did it with my microwave. I had a convection oven microwave combination thing made by Panasonic, and it was very, very good. And but I never used the microwave in it. I always used the quick and easy sort of 50 quid microwave on the other side of the kitchen, and then that went wrong, and I thought, oh, I'll just go and buy another 50 quid one, and I thought, no, I won't. I'll buy a Panasonic one. Paid about 3 or 4 times the price for it, but the Panasonic one's never gone wrong. It's quiet. It just works despite itself. So it is nice to have things that are built reliably and that work all the time. Right, okay, as regards to Google Earth, well, funny you should say that, because I was looking at Frank's house yesterday. I looked you up on Google Earth, Frank, and I think I found, well, I'm pretty certain it's your house, because there was a red Qashqai in the drive, and I did notice there was a wire sloping down from the house to the top of the garden, and also some white pole on the roof. I guess that might be VHF stuff, Frank. So Dave is spying on you, Frank. G4BIM in the group M0SPZ.
Yeah, very good, Dave. G4BIM. I think it's amazing, Google Earth, and certainly Street View, to be able to see these places. It's fascinating, and it's not so much in the UK, but around the world. Well, yes, appliances. Sometimes I walk around B&Q, and I look at some of the products in there that have been put together in China, and I think, what a waste of energy even building that, because it's not going to last 5 minutes. And I do wonder, you know, if things, a lot of things go around in a full circle, like, well, the obvious thing is fashion, but I wonder if it will go around in a full circle eventually, in that things will have to be built to last. They will have to be built to be repaired, because, you know, it's all very well throwing a washing machine or something away, and I suppose we've all done it in the past, but if you're going to reclaim the stuff, in the good things inside that, the metals and things, there is energy involved in that, there is effort involved in that, and it does make you wonder, if you'd have built the thing properly in the first place and made it serviceable and repairable, then that would be, for the planet, that would be far, far better. I mean, I'm all for saving the planet, although I think it's fairly well known that I'm very, very anti-wind turbines on the Isle of Wight, and I'm basically very anti-wind turbines on land, but I am not anti-wind turbines at sea. I'm quite happy that wind turbines can be put out at sea. They work much better there as well, but they're not so cheap to run. And yes, we've got a Panasonic like a microwave and oven combination, and that must be at least 20 years old, Dave. I had to repair the door catch on it, but at least I was able to repair it, and it still works perfectly well. I'm going to buzz off now. 73 to you all. Thank you very much indeed for the opportunity of speaking to you this morning. I'm not absolutely sure I'll get on tomorrow, but I'll get on whenever I can. So I was number 4, and it's back to you, Frank. G0GSR in the group, G4B. I am signing, but of course listening.
Yeah, okay, Peter, G0GSR, which is to Wolfie, who is still listening, by the way. And yeah, wind turbines is quite a contentious subject, isn't it? And I've noticed that we were looking for houses at one time, and just in North Devon, and we found one for sale in a village, and well, we suddenly found another one for sale in the same village, and another one. And the reason for this is that there was a planning application for a wind turbine, or not just one, but a small wind farm. But it was several miles from the village. So the fact that this thing potentially being, 2 or 3 miles from a village, it already prompted 2 or 3 people to try and sell up, even before the event, even before it had planning permission. So they're much hated devices, aren't they? But street views and things, yes, Dave. I saw you looking, actually. I was hiding behind the curtain when you were looking. But it is extremely useful, isn't it? In fact, when we were looking for houses in Scotland, I hope you're copying, by the way, Dave, I'm fading out. While we were looking for houses in Scotland, we found a house that we liked the look of. And we went to Street View to look at what was around it, and we noticed there was an information board, like a placard, at the beginning entrance to a farmer's field. And it alerted us to the fact there was a huge development going on right next door. There was two farmers' fields, and they were going to fill them with about 1 million houses. And we checked the planning application, of course, and that was what was planned. So it did look a nice prospect, but not once we found out it was going to be, next door to a huge estate. So it's good for that, isn't it? And I think Wolfie mentioned Martin G30QD. Yeah, it's excellent. He's the homebrew SDR. We've spoken to him once or twice on here, haven't we? I said Walter then because we were listening to him yesterday. He was very entertaining as usual, and he really does like his digital modes. He was going off on one about his pure hatred of the digital modes. Right, he goes over to Dave now, doesn't he? Hemisphere SPZ in the group, G0GSR, and 73 to you, Peter.
Yeah, Roger, yes. Peter, good of you to join us, and please do, as often as you can. Always a pleasure, and I'm very happy that between the three of us, we seem to have, if not eliminated your problem, certainly reduced it to the point where you're relatively happy with it. So all power to you, Peter. Yes, wind turbines and things. Well, I must admit, I don't really mind them, although I haven't got one next door. When there is a really, really big one over towards Leighton Buzzard, and it's just on its own in the middle of nowhere, and it does look very, very big indeed, bigger than I think most of them are. Although it looks quite nice, but then, as I say, I don't live next to one. The other thing is that there are loads of fields around here that seem to be growing solar panels. I went past several yesterday in my little drive out, and they're built so that they can keep sheep